Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kai-Fi. I'm glad you could be here. If you are new, welcome. This is a Kai-Fi theory, and this is the Zin-Finity Board. We're gonna get right down to the messages, though. If you are returning, what's good? I hope you can appreciate basically the new camera change. I wanted to get more interactive because I realized that I talk with my hands a lot. So if you can see my hands, you can understand more. It's like taboo or Pictionary, whichever one you want to say, right? Both at the same time. But yeah, let's move on to the messages. Basically, the title of this reading is Your Vision Outweighs Their Projection, right? What does that even mean? So you have a true vision. Your vision is within your soul purpose, your reason for being here, the reason why you're going through the things you're going through now, the training that's happening. There's a vision that you have that God has for you that you had before you came here, you know? That kind of talk, that kind of thing. But what is it about projection that's so fatal? When people project on you, that's within the mind, right? So that's over here. Your spirit is over here and your soul is here. So when they project on you, it requires you to go fully within your spirit to understand the balance of the situation. So they can project something that says, they can talk to you. This is only when you expose your dream to them or your vision to them. That's when they have the ability, or when you're going along in your journey, in the vision, like the path, basically, you can understand that they can critique you in ways that'll probably annoy you. But the reason why that's happening is because it's projection. They don't know the true dream. They don't know your true soul. They're not that much of a friend. This is a message. They're not that much of a friend to you to understand your true purpose. Or they're not much of a friend to you yet to be willing to let you do what you need to do in your purpose and not judge you. So that's the reason why they're not near you right now, because sometimes you have to go away from people to go through that phase of basically being turned upside down by the situation and finding your stronghold again, finding your balance again, finding that thing, your reason, your why. Once you find that, that's when you gain that stability and you can venture back into not even the life that you came from, the new life that's meant for you. Now, the next message was the gift of celibacy, right? So, sacrifice reaps rewards. It's as simple as that. So, being celibate from anything that you are addicted to doesn't have to be with just sexual intercourse, right? It don't have to be with just that, right? It can be with just going to the club too much when you can be studying, or you're using that as a crutch to get away from the pain. You know, pain is very tricky because we have so many ways to run away from the pain, so many ways to hold the pain in, but not many ways. I said ways, so rewarding ways to release that energy. But here's what this board is all about, but we're gonna get into that later. I'm gonna start getting these cards out. So basically what came up, we're gonna get these later. They came out face down, so let me just do it this way. So conscious eating for the temple. You already know how you are a temple, right? That's obvious, it's classic. But that means that you are a building. And when you eat, whatever you ingest, all the eyes, all the ingesting that you do, social media, liquor, people, these are things that you are ingesting and it's going within your soul. And that's something that you have to digest. Now, not many people can understand what needs to be digested, so this is why it just sits there. That energy just sits there with you. You have to find ways to release it. Meditation is one good way, but not everybody can meditate in the way that they see or they think meditation is. But yeah. So the next message was no more problems, only solutions. I almost flipped it. So no more problems, only solutions. Have you ever run into anybody that claims you have a problem or swears by it? The English language is very tricky. So what it does is these words are spells. So if you have problems, now that's something you have to tackle. If you have solutions, That's something that you just need to do, and there's a set plan. So you can understand when you say, I don't have problems anymore. You can literally say it with me, write it in the comments. I don't have problems, I have solutions. That means you have the plan now. And once you agree like with your spirit within that, like once you find that cohesion, once you find that strength to believe in what you just said, because not all lies are bad, because you have to fake it till you make it, right? You're lying to yourself, and that actually empowers you to become more of the thing that you want to become. So a lie can be used in your benefit. So if you were exposed to a liar that trained you from God, sent from God, it was almost like sent from the devil, but God allows these things. So the devil takes play and see how much time they can take from you. So time is the ultimate currency. So once you look at that, that's the the common denominator with everything. How much time can I claim for myself in this vision? What am I doing with my time that keeps me away from the vision that I had, the thing that keeps me up at night? I just wasted another day. What is that all about? You weren't focused on the vision. There are a lot of addictions. The celibacy, the sacrifice of celibacy is in order right now. So what can you do? So the next and last message was the painter. You are the painter. And what are you painting? You're painting on black with white with your consciousness. So the black is your spiritual self, yourself, your inner self, who you truly are. That's yourself, right? But who you're consciously portraying to this world, that's your ego. That's what protects you, that kind of thing. But the mind, where the ego is the painter. What are they painting? The canvas of you. And every stroke that you make, every time that you decide to learn who you are, that's a paint stroke. Every time that you decide to go with what you don't know. A painter does not know the true finished product, even if they know what they want to go with. Like, you can have a landscape. You don't know what's in the landscape yet. You just start drawing the landscape. Next thing you know, you get an idea in the middle of drawing the landscape. I want a cow here. Next thing you know, you have another idea. I want it to be sunset instead of daytime. So you do little things to make it sunset. But the true image comes up as you keep painting, So that's the key. When you keep going, even if it's black. And what does that mean? You do not know where you're going. But that's new space to occupy. Think of it as the fog of war in any game. It was black before, and now that you ventured in it, you can go back to home base, within your home, within yourself, and find out how to claim this new space for your own and occupy it, make it become your territory. So looking into the darkness and going into the darkness is a very good skill, because the enemy does not know that darkness. Only you do. And they will only know it. Now, let's talk about this darkness real quick. You think that it's negative. No, that's your divine feminine. That's who you are. Think of it as the maze runner. And in this, alright. So the enemy has to tell us what's going on. And the Maze Runner is a very good movie to watch in order to understand your conscious self trying to get to your spirit to find freedom. Right? So that's what that's all about. So you can look that up for yourself. I don't want to go into it too much because I have to keep going. But as these paint strokes come along, the image comes, and then you start to see like the shell, the skeleton, or what it could be, and then you start to magnify it. What does that mean? In a sense, everything you're doing in your vision is vague, because why would God tell you and the enemy have a chance to go block you? Right? So some things you have to do blindly so the enemy doesn't even know. Right? So that's why you have to walk with God. And if it's dark, you don't know what the outcome is, that's perfect, because you're leaving the true outcome into God's hands. That's why. If you do not know the outcome and you know that you should be doing that thing, even if it's the right thing, even if you don't truly understand, this is the message for you to understand, to go that route. And not be shy about it. That's for somebody specific. So, let's start this reading real quick. I got a lot of cards to go through. I want to get started real quick. I hope you enjoyed the messages. If it related to you, if it resonated with you, leave a comment in the description and we could talk about it. If this interests you, you'll understand why, and let's get down to it. The Zin-Finity Board is an elementally energetic grid that flows in a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind, in a still life version. So you are the painter right now, and you got the paint, like you got the paintbrush, and I'm just showing you the canvas with the information that I'm giving you, so you can paint the picture for your own life, right? So I said it's a still life. Imagine your life on pause, right? And you see a menu. This is the menu to see of everything that's going on within your mind. Your mind is not in your head, all right? That's your brain. Your mind is basically like, think of it as your aura. Your conscious aura is more likely your mind than your brain. It's not here. Your mind is not right here. That's just the vehicle that your mind uses, right? So what we do is go from the crown, the crown chakra, to the root chakra. I'm basically going to push and empty and basically pave a way for the energy to go from the crown to the root. And once we get there, you can do whatever you want with that energy, as you are the painter, the one who basically has the vision for their life now. So you can rewrite the situation. No, I don't want to do this no more. I understand what this was. I want to paint a new picture. So let's go. The first part of this reading is Prima Materia, right? But this is basically who, what, when, where, and why. And that's why these oracle cards are here right now. These are the Moonology oracle cards. So let's get who. Who has to do with be bold and make the first move. That's who. Those are the people that you should resonate with. The people who are not afraid to take the first move, because sometimes you need to be the one that observes it, right? But the thing is, the first move can be a silent one too. So that's for somebody. The next energy is what? Communication is key, and it's the new moon in Gemini. But let's get who first. Let's get who. So be bold and make the first move. The cardinal moon. This is for who? Be bold and follow your heart and your emotions. Avoid recklessness or moving too fast. Come into your power. The time for action is now. Ask Ganesha and the Hindu elephant god for help. So elephants are known for memory. And anytime that they needed a source of water, which would be spirit, anytime that you need a spiritual source, it's in your memory how to get it. So those sources, those wells of energy, like the places that you go, like let's just say you like to go out to dance. That's a form of meditation, and that's a form of how you can claim yourself, which is your own rightful energy, right? You go there to relieve that negativity, only to leave out with positivity. That doesn't happen all the time, but that's one of the goals. So that's one place that you know that you can do that. That's not a good example, but that's one place. What are the other places that don't leave you with too much negativity leaving it, right? Or too much of a negative effect. So that's who. For what is communication is key, the new moon in Gemini. This is for what? This is a thing. Think about it as a manifestation. Time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you. Read more books. So if a manifestation is flirting with you, there's something that God has been trying to get you to do that brings birth, life, to something that will help you in your life. And it's almost like you can't stop thinking about it. What could be a plan that helps you get there? And that's what the seed is from spirit to help you manifest it. You have to water it. You have to feel it out. You have to understand what it's for. There's reasons for everything. There's a purpose for everything. And it's not all what you think it is. Sometimes the gaps have to be filled to create the balance before you move forward. Alright, so for the energy of when, you have hold your vision. This is the fixed moon. So I find that funny. The cardinal moon came out and then the fixed moon. So look. Staying power, faith, or patience are needed. Someone needs to back down. Avoid stagnation. A personal or professional relationship will be enduring. Now, this is a new statement you're probably going to feel a little iffy about, but understand it. Look. Peace is lower vibrational than growth, even though it helps the situation. So evolution is growth. But in order to evolve, think about it as Pokemon, you need to battle to gain experience. So which one do you want? Do you want to sit in peace? Or are you a person that wants to evolve? that's the decision that you have to make, and understand what you need to be doing right now to do those things. You can't go after both at the same time. You just can't. So that's when. Where is within the spirit. Okay, I said when is within the mind. Where is within the spirit. A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. So, being assertive is good. Just don't ride roughshod over anyone. So, if a person named Rashad is coming up, okay. But that's not the word that they said. Roughshod. I don't know what that is, but that's for you if you know what it is. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby. Sorry, this could be the issue. What is it about being a baby? You are recognizing your inner child. But your inner child is the only thing that's in operation. You have to protect the inner child as the conscious being. The inner child always stays the inner child. That's yourself. The adult is just the shield of the inner child. It never goes away, but you will stray away from it because you think you are not the inner child. The inner child is the source of spirit for you, your source of self, source of who you are. When you first come into this earth, you're not programmed for anything, really. Nothing is programmed in you. You are that pure source. If that source in a perfect world was to be able to be brought up, nurtured up in, perfection or whatever, you will already know your true self and be operating with it. But since we have to go through so many of these conditions, since we went through so many of these situations and conditions, we have been programmed to protect ourselves in a certain way. And that's when the ego and the mind takes over. But it's all about protection and preservation. So don't think of it as like something that's bad. It's something that's there for a reason. At the end of the day, your ego knows how it works. So it wants to keep you protected. And it was, you need to have more fun. So maybe the club wasn't too much of a bad idea. You need to go back to it. But go to better ones or something like that. It don't have to be the same experiences. So why is the most important question. And this is where the source is. The source energy is. So surrender to the divine, the full moon. Funny enough, right? Alright. A wish you made may be about to become... Wow. A wish you made may be about to come true. It's time to it's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Deep breathing and staying calm is kind of the way. You may need to forgive someone or to release negative energy. So yeah, it's time to let go of the past and move on. Now, I call them, we all know what heartstrings are. Now, what are they really? It's your conscious mind, your ego, holding on to something or someone that you believe should be there. That's a heartstring. You love that thing. You want that thing in your life. You're willing to do what you need for that thing. But if it's not meant to be there, it's only a tether that's stopping you from moving forward. And that's why. So let's get some of these energies out. The next part of the reading is... No, I'm going to use these. So this is what crowns the reading, but let me say it really quickly. So basically, the 10 spots, well, with this included, are the Sephirot on the Tree of Life. And when I put a card on each of them, it talks about a perspective in your mind. So each perspective has an energy tag, right? And when it doesn't have the fire, air, water, earth that it needs to be, it shows me that the energy from the crown isn't able to get down to the root yet. So starting with the first card of the reading, what crowns the reading, is the Seven of Wands reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed. So let's get this. So this is giving up, destroyed, confidence, and feeling overwhelmed. I almost couldn't even talk right now. So if there's somebody in your life that's stopping the sense of the throat chakra, that's where the imaginations come from. So if it's somebody that blocks your imagination, like when you're around them, you can't even think about anything positive. It's just like the things that you in your past, and that's it. Like you can't even think about anything beautiful. You just think about that negativity. That's probably not the person you need to be around right now, because they are sapping your positive energy because they need it to survive. And that's the reason they want to be around you so much. We are all souls that are looking to survive. And like I said before, the ego just wants to survive and it knows what it needs. So people subjected to the negative parts of it would, manipulate people. So the next up was the Page of Pentacles. This energy is always on suit, basically. It just tells you what needs to be there. The best energy to have here is fire, and it is here, but earth is also here, so let's look at it. Page of Pentacles. Lack of commitment, greediness, and laziness. So if your manifestations aren't just for you, and you are not willing to share or give, which is the reason for the manifestation, how could you profit? You have a whole storefront and you choose to never open a store. You are a light being and your light can guide people, and you can be an angel in somebody else's life. So would you subscribe to that is the question. Your gift is meant to help you not only, but other people around you too, because you start to understand what you need, what you could do for God or for anybody in any situation to help it, to balance it. So that's who you are. That's your being, your perspective of being. I know I put it on the screen, but this is being. And I know this is Pisces energy, but I'm not going to name it the whole time, but it's going to be on the screen. Everybody's energy, meaning zodiac sign, is going to be in one of these perspectives. Obviously, naturally, the one that's in your Sephiro, but there's some information along with it, and you can tag along. So let's keep going. The next energy is the Devil, and let me get the other side. This is the third eye energy, and it's the Tower. So the Devil is on suit, and the Tower is off suit. Both major arcana cards. All major arcana cards in the Tree of Life are love cards. Why? Because they get energies from point to point. And that involves movement, calculation, love, putting love to the situation, finding the balance, right? So, two of them came out. And when it comes out on this board, since there's no space for it, it means that something happening outside of your power for you or to you, against you. So somebody is trying to, let's talk about what you want first. The first perspective is I want, right? The Devil. So let's get the Devil card. Materialism, addiction, playfulness. Now this is talking about the things. Ooh, okay. Why is the Devil here? And why is it the direction that you need to go? It's the place of fear. You do not think that you're going to achieve it, and that's why you're not going in the direction. That's the reason for the delay that was here, and the laziness and the I don't think it said selfishness. It just said laziness, or maybe it said selfishness. I forgot. But yeah, that's the reason for it, because it's tough. But that's evolution. A caterpillar trying to get, or a caterpillar going into the cocoon has to have enough strength to get out of it its own self, in order to be able to fly. So that's this process. You have that blessing that you're asking for, but you must be fit for it. And it requires you to look the devil in his eye and go straight towards it and not even blink. Lack of fear. Fearless. So from there, it went to the Tower, which is I need, right? And this is off suit. Tower's a fire energy, right? It should be air or water on this side. So let's get the Tower. Sudden upheaval, lost foundations, and disaster. Now, what is the Tower? I figured out that the Tower is your maximum scope of basically things that you can claim and dominate and kind of conquer within your vision. So everything that you can see, you can own and claim because you can protect it. Also, everything that you can see, you have to find out how to manage it and work it and to make it benefit you. In a castle, the castle keep is the highest point, and that's what this tower is all about. When it comes down, don't think of it as coming down for a bad purpose. Sometimes it needs to be rebuilt taller so you can claim more, right? That's always going to happen after a tower moment. It's always going to be built higher. So that's the reason for it. But Somebody forced you into this moment. Why? Because it's what you needed. There's people that are sent into your life to bring you through trials that bring the tower down that you built up, your personal tower. Okay, I'm going to do this in my life, then this is going to happen. And these plans, all these plans weren't your vision. That was your fantasy. It wasn't your dream. So your vision was more of the fantasy back then. And this is why this happened. So that's what you needed. You needed that shift of perspective. So the next energy, I'm going to do it like this. The next energy that came up is the Five of Swords. And then it's the Queen of Wands. So the Five of Swords is off suit. And the Queen of Wands is on suit. Let's finish this one over here. Let's finish all three. I made a mistake. Alright, so I'm going to do this one. Ten of Wands. Alright. And the King of Pentacles. This energy right here, these three cards I just drew, is vibration. But let's talk about the first one, which is for I know. What do you know about what's going on? The information that you have gathered, the experience that you went through, and the things that you can use. This energy is off. You are not using your experience. Instead, you are thinking that what people went through is the way to go. So you're very easily influenced. And that was the reason for the tower. The tower wasn't even yours. It was something that was built out of fear. And it was imaginary. But this is why you're finding what you truly can, claim in this world. It's one of those things. So the King of Pentacles. Abundance, prosperity, and generosity. Now this is in a place of what you know. You know that the money will work. You know that a gift will work. You know that anything outside of you is the answer. And that's not the answer. It comes from you and your imagination. Your imagination is endless. And it's always going to show you and tell you that's not the right way to go. It's always going to tell you that. So don't sit in your imagination. Well, give your imagination a chance. Give it a chance. That's your soul speaking to you. So yeah, that's I know. The next energy up is I will, which was the Five of Swords, as I mentioned before, that ended off with the Queen of Wands. So let's start it off with the Five of Swords. This is unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and sneakiness. Now, this is air energy. It has nothing you can do to manifest. It's like you're trying to do telekinesis to get the job done. You're trying to look at the situation, understand the plan, and just trying to do magic. Like you're going to close your eyes and open, and it's done. Everything is done. No work included. I'm just going to know what's mine and wait for it to come to me. No. You're sneaky. Even though you are a light being, you're forgetting about the work that needed to be done. You can't it's like you can't forget what you came here for anymore. It's there, and it's so beautiful that you're willing to put yourself through these things in your subconscious mind. You're willing to put yourself through these things to get there, because it's worth it. Whatever that dream is that you have, it's worth it. Write the dream down. Put the dream in the comment section. Let's talk about it. But then it ended up with the Queen of Wands, and this is courage, determination, and joy. Now this energy kept it on suit. Now the courage to face the devil is the reason, because you're willing now. It takes a certain amount of regret to keep you moving, to put you in a place where you say never again. And that never again energy is the catalyst. That is the thing that you can hold on to, but not within your heart, within your mind that says, okay, from these experiences, I'm going to hold on to these experiences and use them to the best of my ability so that these experiences never happen again. So the next energy was the Ten of Wands, and this is the place of I desire. Let's get it. Accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. As I said before, this needs to be air and water, and this is all suit. This is fire. Now, accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. You are burdening yourself when it comes up to your mind. Your mind believes that it is correct. But the thing about it is, the mind is over here. It's one part of the mind. Or let's just say this. The consciousness is over here. And it's one part of the whole mind in general, right? So there's two ways to understand that. But that's the all mind. If you have too much conscious energy outweighing your spiritual energy, you will never find out what you desire, because what you desire comes from within. Everything that you're consciously seeing is ingested. It's registered from outside to inside. This comes from inside out. So that can't be a source other than to nurture you. You understand what I mean? You have to go and find things that nurture the inside. But you believe you knew where it was going, but the burden is strong because you're not allowing your spirit to take control. Maybe it was something that you went through before that talked about it. So the next energy that came up in the area of I love. This is the heart chakra, right? Two water energies came out, and they're both off suit. First was the Knight of Cups, and then it was the Ace of Cups. So, following the heart, idealistic and romantic. And then it went from there to new feelings, spirituality, and intuition. This is the place where you need the most mental space to operate. And it's very emotional. Why? Because you're going through a rebirth moment, naturally, with the Ace of Cups. But it requires you to have that courage right here. And this is bringing up the energy of the Hermit. And this is the year of the 9. And the Hermit is the 9 card. So, yeah, let's keep going. The next energy is for the solar plexus. Understand the solar plexus has no fire. The energy in the solar plexus is about pressure that creates heat. So the pressure is from the earth and the wind, the air. Air pressure, earth pressure, right? But earth falls, and this is the reason why the earth from the solar plexus goes to the root, right? So the last two energies in here are Gemini and Libra, right? So for these two energies, what's coming out? Let's get these cards. So the Fool. Now, it should be fire, and this is off suit. So let's get it right now. Fool energy is very important. You're willing to do what you want to do for yourself, but there's a plan in order. And the Fool energy has to talks about your mind kind of being the backseat driver to who you are and what you need to be doing. It's like, no, you need to turn here, go faster, go slower. Don't you see the sign? It's like your mind is bugging you. But you want to go through that new phase so much. It's like you're using all your mental powers to do it, when you should be relaxed and allow that energy to go to your spirit. Because if you're claiming all of the energy in your whole mind and pushing it into the mind or into the consciousness, right? You have no spiritual energy left to work with. So the Fool is innocence, new beginnings, wonder, and foolishness. So I really I know what the Fool is. So the next energy up is for I feel. This energy was I do, I act. Basically, the patterns that you keep and the habits that you form. So the next energy was I feel. Now this has to do with the feelings. Judgment, reverse. But this is on suit because it's water. It should be here. This is your side, the sacral chakra. Now, let's get Judgment real quick. This is a verse. So it's lack of self-awareness, self-doubt, and self-hate. Now, this is a good thing because you are allowing yourself for the first time to feel it out and not judging yourself for having those feelings. Because naturally, when you see somebody else have those feelings, it resonates with you and it doesn't naturally comfort you. So you're more hesitant in general around those kind of people that trigger those emotions. So you can find a way within yourself to release those emotions. The trigger makes you hold it on and do something negative with it. The release is about going with the flow with God, the divine alignment, right? So the people, there's somebody around you that's doubting you so much And it's almost making you believe what they're saying, because like I said before, lies are powerful, because you can lie to yourself in the right direction, but they're lying to you in the wrong direction. And sometimes people could just be talking out their ass, really, but you are there to hear it. So this is why being away from certain people is important. So that's what you're feeling right now. The next energy, and what finishes this circuit basically, is, I'm going to do this one, the Temperance energy, and this is offsuit. Temperance is the fire energy, and it should be earth. But let's get to Temperance really quickly. This is the middle path, patience, and finding meaning. Now, if you are finding the meaning, it's not manifested for you to use. So the meaning is not for you to use for somebody else. You can't project your vision onto somebody and make that person move for you. It's not about them. It's about what you can do with that energy. It's like a wasted release trying to show somebody who you are. So the passion is on the ego side. So there are certain things that are around you that's making you feel like the man, the woman, and when you should be more humble. Not everybody can be humble in certain situations, and you are finding out who you should be around to influence these unhumble situations. So, like I said before, going out to the club, but who do you go out to the club with? That changes the whole night, right? You can have a whole good time with somebody and a safe night with somebody. It's all to your discernment, and that's what this judgment is about. But this is why people want to be around you, as I said before, because they're basically eating that positivity. And this is why it always ends up into a negative situation, because they're not there to nurture. They're there to get everything that they can. So have a discerning eye on those types of people. The next part of the reading is basically care, and it has to do with balancing the situation. Everything that's off right now, everything that's off suit, like starting from here, what you need is off suit. You're not getting what you need. You don't really know what you need to be going towards. What's next? Of course you're not getting what you desire because you don't have what you need, truly. But this is why it's so much of a burden. The next thing that was off was what you love. You're not going after the beautiful things. You're going after the things that bring the emotion back. You cannot doing something great after something negative does not erase the negative emotions. You have to let those things pass. So running away from doing that work is not the reason. So yeah, let's move on. But that's what brings you to beautiful things. The Fool energy, talking about the patterns and the habits. Your spirit instead, your mind instead, is taking over, being that backseat driver. Alright? Don't do this because I remember doing this thing, and that if I start that thing, that looks crazy, and I'm not gonna be able to do what I need to do. It's like your mind will not be quiet. But the next energy that was off was I am, right? So that had to do with the fear factor of it all, and that's the Temperance. You don't want to lose your passion, and that's your ultimate fear. The ultimate fear is to lose the reason for your why. But the first energy that was off was the Temperance card that came up, right? And it didn't even finish, but 2 cards dropped. So the cards that dropped was the 10 of Pentacles and the 4 of Swords. And the 4 of Swords, luckily, completed this run. So we're going to talk about it really quickly. This is what balances the situation. Every time I put a card down, it talks about the time and energy to balance that perspective, right? So this is the perspective of I need. So let's talk about it. It started with the Tower. I mentioned what happens with that and what the reason for the Tower was. So it goes from there to the Temperance energy, right? let's go back to the Temperance. This is another major arcana, something that's happening for you for a good reason. It's given to you. You don't have to wait for it. No, you don't have to work for it. Right? And this is that passion going into your spirit. Your spirit understands your passion. But that passion was created from so much fantasy that it's swayed. So you have to be, it's almost like it has to be taken away from you to repaint the picture. So it's turned black for a reason, so you can repaint a new image. As I said before, you are the painter. And went from there to the Ten of Pentacles is still off suit, right? Everything is still off suit so far. But let's see it. Legacy, inheritance, and culmination. This is spiritual culmination. Now, understand that this is a physical blockage, but also you can understand it as you believe that somebody else's abundance will get you there. Some other thing other than you, as I said before, will be able to do it. But that's not the case. Your legacy, your inheritance, it's about your name. And if it doesn't come from you, you don't own it. It's somebody else's blessing. And then it ended. So the Six of Wands is out right now on the bottom of the deck. But it ended with the Four of Swords. So this is rest, restoration, and contemplation. What is the rest about? It's allowing your mind to be more at ease. Allowing your soul to take hold of the situation. Allowing your soul to guide you. Your imagination is there for a reason. Your imagination always points you in the right direction, even though it looks like you made a left turn or right turn in the wrong direction. Your imagination only keeps bringing you closer towards that divine alignment, right? It only keeps doing that. It knows where it's pointed, so you have to follow it. But rest gives you that. You have dreams. What are the dreams that you're having right now? Think about that. The dreams could have the plan, but you have to write it down to figure out what it even means. Most of the time, you have to write it down. Some people are able to comprehend it right then and there. Oh, what was that about? I don't need to be doing that. Got you. But that's your spirit talking to you. Your spirit can only talk to you with the things that you know and understand. So it has to take a form of your knowledge of what you know. So when it takes something that's a negative form, it might not be a negative thing, but your spirit is showing you an image of something negative. You're scared of it, so stay away from that thing. Or pay more attention to that thing that can trigger you. But this is about the dream. But let's keep moving on to the next energy that was off, which is I know. And it's the Two of Pentacles. It went from the King of Pentacles to the Two of Pentacles. Let's keep going. Then to the Lovers, and that finished it. So what you know acts as the roof to your home. So there's a house and then a home. The home is inside the house. So your roof protects you. Your knowledge protects you. So it went from the King of Pentacles, that I know what I meant, but I forgot. Let's see. Efficiency, hard work, and responsibility. That's others' responsibility to you. It's almost like it's owed to you. And went from there to the Two of Pentacles. Not so much stubbornness, but still swayed, like the decision is swayed. Balancing decision, priorities, and adapting to change. What are the changes? Now these are the changes, the Lovers, the union, right? Now this is coming towards you. Something that's in a divine alignment, should you allow the flow to happen. Imagine that you are a river bank and you have to allow the water to run through it. So this is that flow, the thing that you need, the source of energy. Right. So the Lovers. Partnerships, union, and duality. Now, this is duality between the mind and the spirit. The consciousness and the selfness. It's the same parallels. Alright? That's balanced decisions. Are your guide to your experiences. What were the things that you've done that you can remember that were like split decisions that led you in the right way? Because that's how your imagination talks to you. It's almost like the epiphany right in that moment It doesn't have to be a beautiful one. You can have a terrible feeling epiphany that says, do not go through that door. There's something about to happen through that door. Do not go through it. And you wait for 10 seconds and you see what happens. Some car came swerving. You never know what happened. But there's two types of epiphany feelings. And it's like, you're going to move on either one of them. Alright, the next energy that was off was the Knight of Swords, and it fixed this energy right here when it comes up to our desire. That was the next energy that was off. So it started off with the Ten of Wands and ended off with the Knight of Swords. The Ten of Wands is accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. Those burdens I mentioned before. But this warrior right here only has armor on and his chariot, you know, his way of getting around. The armor and the way of getting around. So you can get around safely. So what happens? What do you need to do to get around safely? Whew. It says, no direction, disregard for consequence, and unpredictability. Now, isn't that completely black? If you decided to have no direction but allowed things to happen and acted accordingly, that's no direction. But is it alignment? Yes, it is alignment. How are you aligned? The things that God say, okay, if you're waiting for me, do this thing. Now you're waiting for me again, do this thing. Okay, now do the next thing. Do you understand where we're going with this? Do this thing. Now this thing is available to you. But it's not anything that you planned, but it was divinely aligned for you. So you have to figure out what that looks like. But it has to talk about your desires. And the next energy that was off was in I love. This is the heart chakra, the place of beauty, right? So it started off with the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Swords is right here, but the Knight of Cups, then the Ace of Cups. And let's get this out real quick to figure out what God wants to say. Oh, that one. All right, so the Seven of Cups came out. We're gonna keep going. The Four of Cups. So you can understand how emotional you've been within your mental space. That's a lot of emotions taking over the time that you needed to plan and get things done. But the Four of Cups came out, and that's, watch this. Then the 10 came out in reverse. I'm gonna keep going till it gets to air. This spot needs to be air. Page of Pentacles. I'm gonna do two more. If it doesn't come out, then that's it. These two. Page of Wands and a Seven of Cups. So I already know what's happening. When we get down to the water, since I took so much out of it, watch. So let's start this really quickly. Like I said, the time and energy required to fix the situation. No, let's keep going. I don't like it. So the Sun came out. A lot of energy came out right now. There's still water in the earth. I'm going to keep going till I find some air. Alright, so Justice. That was the first balancing air energy that came out, and it was the Justice card, which is a major arcana, and it literally talks about your heart's desires and the space you have to claim it. What is space? Every week we go to work. Our time is our space, because in this time you can farm, you can do all of these other things, to do other things within your life. But now that you have to go to work to survive, that's a contract, and you have less space to operate. So you can understand the difference between these spaces. Your justice has to do with your ability to have all your time. How much time do you have? That gives you that justice also. But then when we hear justice in another way, it talks about the things that are coming back towards you, the things that balance the situation, the things that happen to you, almost like you're getting your revenge now, but it's not really your revenge. You're taking a back seat. I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting right here waiting for anybody to attack me. Don't come to me. Don't come looking at me like I'm the one who did this. You know what you did. This is karma. Don't look at me. That's what this energy is saying. And it took all of this to figure that out. So let's get this real quick. So it started with those 2 cups. We're going to be right in the cups. So look. 6 of Cups. Familiarity, happy memories, and healing. The things that are in your past, in your experiences that you believe gave you that space before. But it was actually a trap. But it wasn't a trap. It was a place to learn. So God uses everything to your advantage. It doesn't matter what the devil decides to do. There's always a balance to the situation. And God will always allow you to see that kind of balance. You will always know what you can do to balance the situation. It's always available to you. Why? Because the 4 of Cups. This is apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness. An apathetic mind, let's just say this. The spirit is empathic. The mind is apathetic. So apathy, when you have, the mind should be apathetic. So that's a lack of emotion in the mind. The mind should be a calculator. 2 plus 2 is 4. Not 2 plus 2 is I feel like it should be 3 right now. That's how you go into the wrong direction, because these feelings got into your mind, and that's ego. When the energy of feelings are in your mind, that's ego, right? Well, that's the negative part of ego, we understand. Then it went from there to the 10 of Cups reversed. This is shattered dreams. That's fantasies. Broken family, domestic disharmony. Of course, it has to be turned upside down. You decided to turn all your 10 cups upside down. You're deciding to say, these things that help me feel good, because it's not truly being good, you feel good. These things that help me feel good are no good for me. So it went from there to the Page of Pentacles. Finally some kind of stability, but it's still stubborn. But it's better stubborn, because now you're saying, I'm not allowing anything to happen right now. I want to see what's going on. I want to be more of an observer. So Page of Pentacles. This is ambition, desire, and diligence, but it's still off suit. It's actually polar. So this is the sacrifice that I mentioned. The sacrifice that I mentioned, exactly. The things that you're willing to give up. You mentioned it with the emotional things, but on a physical aspect, these things were powering those triggering moments. So it's about that. And went from there to the Page of Wands. So the Page of Pentacles came out, then the Page of Wands came out. So pages. There are pages, chapters, and books, and you can understand when a page is being turned in your life, when there's a new chapter, or when you need to close the whole book, like when it's done, when it's completely done. You need to understand, not need to, try to figure out the points in your life where you are. And I apologize for my heat, but I'm glad I got it. So yeah. So the Page of Wands was exploration, excitement, and freedom. Now, in this space where you've made those sacrifices, you have your time with the absence of what you would be doing without doing those things. I hope that made sense, right? So now that you're not going to the club, you're sitting in your house at night. What can you do with that? That was about the Page of Wands. Action, adventure, and fearlessness. Being ambitious in that time, God honors that because you're doing His work. And went from there to the 7 of Cups. Now watch this. Searching for purpose, choices, and daydreaming. Now daydreaming has to do with the cohesion in the mind between thinking really hard and dreaming really hard at the same time. So you're consciously dreaming while you're awake, right? So that's like super imagination moment. Because sometimes when I daydream, I'm not even in my seat. I'm somewhere else. Sometimes these daydreams, you can understand that, okay, if you find yourself daydreaming in a place that you shouldn't be, maybe that's the tag. You don't want to be there. You picture yourself being somewhere else. It's so unbearable being in that place or doing these things. You're imagining. It's almost like despair though. But that's energy that you can use. Even if you're in a state of despair, that's energy that you can use to build. You can use everything to your advantage. And this is what the devil don't want you to know. That energy is potential once you understand how to control it. It's all chaos before you control it. So it went from there to the sun. How do you control it? And this is coming towards you. Joy, success, celebration, and positivity. Now this is still off suit, but these energies they cooperate with each other basically. So fire and air are compatible. They complement each other, that's the word. But the funny thing is, it went from being down in a state of despair, but having positivity because you're coming into your sense of justice. So the way that the cards came out, it was a story in itself. So why the positivity? The justice card, let's see. This is what completed that energy. Cause and effect, clarity, and truth. Now, the truth of the matter, outside of the lie, because the lie pushes you in a certain direction, but the balance is the truth. What do you need for balance? Lies and deception pull you in different ways, but let's just say so much of what you were doing swayed your scale all the way this way, right? Now, you needed to be lied to go within your spirit to balance the situation. So, like I said, you lied to yourself and other people lied to you. Which ones are taking effect right now? But it all has a purpose, and that's when that discernment comes in. Why did you allow me to go through that, God? I'm safe, I'm here, I'm protected, I got money, I got funds, I got what I need to make it to the next day. I know you got that part. And if I don't understand that, all I have to do is have faith. I understand that, God, but why did you bring me through this event? Why? Then when you look into pieces and what you were able to do and what you're not able to do in those situations, there's fears, but those are problems. Those are problems. Now, as I said before, you have problems. No, you don't. Not no more. I don't have no more problems, but I have solutions. I don't have no more problems, but I have solutions. So now that you have these solutions, what's up? So let's move on to the next energy that needed to be cleared. And this is in the solar plexus. Hopefully I can get some fire out. Right. So 9 of Cups. 8 of Pentacles. 9 of Swords. Alright. This is the year of 9. And 9 of Wands. 8 of Wands. That's crazy. I'm about to say. So did 8-9 just come out? So 9, 8, 8, 8. So 888 came out. That's triple infinity. And then representing for the year of 9, the 9 of Cups came out. Alright, so let's get some of these cards really quickly. It started off with the Fool. I mentioned what that was for. And then it went to the 9 of Cups. This is satisfaction, emotional stability, and luxury. Now, this is in the place of your patterns. You cannot do anything. See, this person is standing still. He's waiting for some kind of energy to come to tell him what to do. This is like waiting on a spiritual trigger. You have to make the move in order to hit the landmine, but the landmine helps you. So don't think of it as something that's going to destroy you, but you have to move. When you're playing the game, it's called like a action trigger or something like that. You walk past a certain line and then an event happens. But if you stay right there, nothing will happen. That's what it's talking about. Where you are in this piece that you're searching for is actually putting you in stagnation. So went from there to the 8 of Pentacles, right? This is diligence, passion, and high standards. Now, this is a perfect card. Well, not a perfect card, but a good card to have here because the diligence. This is the place of patterns, but it has to do with your manifestations. Now, these are manifestations that you have made already. These are things that you've thought of already, that you put into action, that you've left for a certain amount of time, that you put on the back burner, that you're treating like laundry, or somebody's treating you like laundry, putting you on the back burner. That's about this person, but it's stopping you from being more repetitive. So somebody is repeatedly blocking you. Figure out who that is. And we went from there to the 8 of Swords. And this is imprisonment, entrapment, and self-victimization. Now, this is parallel to this, so it helps it out. But it's not that bad of an energy to have there. But the imprisonment and the entrapment is because your mind was taking over. That backseat driver is now taking another backseat, not even driving with you. You're saying now, I do not want to go with that certain amount of fear and what I've seen before. I do not want to operate with that. That's what you're saying right now. I do not want to operate with that. I close my eyes to all of the situations that harmed me before, and I move on in a place where I'm protected. So it went from there to the Eight of Wands. And this is what completed this energy. Rapid action, movement, and quick decisions. So this is the end of that 888 that just came up. Right? Rapid action, movement, and quick decisions. Why is it rapid? Because you were stagnant for so long. Now that you have so much energy, you've been holding these feelings in. Like, I need to do this, I need to do this. You're anxious. What is the anxiety? You're holding in the energy and it wants to go somewhere. So you're anxious, just sitting there holding it in. Find a release for it. It just needs a release. Anxiety only needs a release. That's it. You have high energy regeneration. So you are a person to be doing a lot with that energy. So what can you do with it? You know, it goes hand in hand with these patterns right now. Because if you have the energy for it, you're always moving forward. Alright, the next energy that was off was I am. And this is the place, the fear factor. It started off with the Temperance card. Mad energy came out just now. I know you saw that. I hope you saw that, cause right. The Hierophant, and that completed it. Earth energy. It doesn't take you much to understand what used to scare you and what you can do to fix it. But this is the Hierophant reverse, so let's get it. A lot of major arcana energy came up, but I did draw a lot of cards, so yeah. So the Hierophant. This reverse. Rebellion, subversiveness, and new approaches. What are you rebellious with? What are you approaching new? See, I already mentioned it. I didn't even need to look at it. This is like restructuring the foundation. This is like tilling the land. That's what it seems like. This is that energy of tilling the land. You have newly conquered mental space. And this Hierophant energy is what helps it. It's a non-traditional approach to fix the problem. Or it's a non-traditional approach to come to the solution. Alright. So now that everything is, in a sense, balanced, right? What do we do with it? We went from who, what, when, where, and why. Then we went to the perspectives in the mind. I be, I want, I need, I know. I will, I desire, I love, I act, I feel, and I am. Now, where did we go with this? We did who, what, when, where, and why. Next is how. How do you do any of this? And now I get with these next oracle cards. And we're going to talk about how. So let's get these cards down. In the place of experimentation, we have the energy of the soulmate. In the place of expression, we have the energy of earth. We have the energy of earth. In the place of integration, we have safe travel. Let's keep going. I'm going to explain these really quickly. In the place of transcendence, which is basically just leveling up. Like you go from level 1 to level 16, right? Is the new moon. And last card, I'm gonna leave them face down. Basically, that's how you evolve. And the fact that it came face down, I'm not meant to see it right now. No clues. All right. So starting off with this first energy is if I experiment with everything that we talked about right now. What can you do? This is how you can be mechanical within your life. And as I said before, this is the Kundalini rising energy right now. So soulmate energy on expression. A significant partnership, soul connection, and a meeting of kindred spirits. Drawing this card means you have met a soul-connected relationship. While this can indicate a romantic connection, it can also signify any relationship meant to work together on a soul level. Alright, so not every soulmate is a person. It can be things. You can find the perfect bike that gets you everywhere you need to go, very lightweight, and it's almost like it's never in the way, it can fold up and everything. So imagine you find that perfect bike. That bike is a soulmate for you right now because it allows you to move with ease, claim more time, and with peace. Right? So it's also things. It's not just people. But when it comes up to people, what is that? When this man and woman, or divine feminine with divine masculine, right? The divine masculine in a situation can double up on the mental energy, on the conscious energy. The divine feminine can double up on the spiritual feminine energy, right? So now you guys are basically 2 in 1, but you guys are united in one spirit in general. So you know how Power Rangers is? Imagine there's two Power Rangers. That's you and your significant other, and you guys go into a Megazord, right? So now you guys are operating as one. It's not as easy as it looks. Rim something. I forgot. Not Skyrim. Like, it's a movie about the aliens that came out in these big transformer looking things, but whatever. That was an experimentation. The next energy is expression. You can express emotions that leave you grounded or look for them. The tangible world and all that it is physical within nature. What you can see, feel, and touch invites you to participate in enjoying it. Inviting earth energy to your current situation will bring more stability at this time. Be kind to this temple of a physical body that is the home for your soul. It requires an adequate nutrition and rest. Meditate on this symbol when you want more of a connection to the physical plane and validation of all that is here in the three-dimensional world with you. So, your home is the house for your soul. So the pieces of your soul live in your house, right? Your home. So, being emotionally grounded acts as nutrition. So, if your home had a farm, instead of it being in a season of drought, you are the well that waters the crops to keep the home beautiful. Find things that energize the home. Find things that empower the home. So that's what you can express with your feelings. These are the feelings that you need to acquire, because you need to be around it, right? I don't know why I said acquire. Acquire these feelings. It's almost like you want to feel a certain amount of things or a certain emotion before you're absolutely positive where you need to go. And that's okay, because safe travel is here, and this is where you're going, where you need to go. So safe travel in a place of integration, which you can integrate into your patterns, your habits, right? A trip, journey, or even a simple change of scenery is upon you. Meditate on this before you start a new adventure, move to a new home, or take a trip. Now, if safe travel is here, everything that you are planning and the patterns that you are doing right now are like just new experiences. You're in the gym for so long just using one piece of equipment. Now there's new pieces of equipment that get you to the body, the spiritual body that you want to have. So it's just new pieces to the patterns. And sometimes things double up. Instead of having a bike, you can have a electric scooter. You don't need to pedal no more, but you can still work out and get that same, benefit, whatever, right? But you get there faster, get there with more energy, meaning more time to claim things, right? So it's all hand in hand, works hand in hand. The next energy is transcendence. This is how you level up. Leveling up is different from evolving. Think of Pokemon, right? The new moon. A new beginning, a fresh start, and an auspicious time to start new projects. Drawing this card invites you to begin again. Meditate on this at the new moon to bring new energy to your life. Write a list of intentions, dreams, goals, and wishes to support the new direction and invite in inspiration. So, spelling or speaking is basically using magic, right? But writing is also another form of magic, and it also brings towards you an attraction. Why? Because as you write it down, it's almost like you're putting a spell on a piece of paper. That's just what it is. That's what that is, right? And as you know how subconsciously you can remember everything that you do, you subconsciously remember. It's being logged in. Somehow it is, right? So even you writing something, like when you journal, you get that emotion out. That emotion is on that piece of paper now. You don't have to talk about it no more. You talked about it as much as you could and with the most description as you could possibly do. And now that emotion is on a piece of paper. Some people say burn it. Some people just go back to it and look over it. Which way is your method? But it has to do with the new moon energy. And the last cards of the reading, Divine Feminine and Divinity. Crazy. Alright. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. So let's start off with the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine is receptive, creative, empathic, and emotional. In the highest aspect, she represents collaboration, nurturing, sharing, birthing, inclusiveness, and vulnerability in perfect harmony with the world around her. Drawing this card can indicate that the more of the Divine Feminine energy is required for your current situation or relationship to thrive. So yourself is the one that gives you the Divine Feminine energy, is the one that opens the well or pumps the Divine Feminine energy into your home. Yourself is the one that does that. So you have to pay attention to your inner child, as I said before, your true self, and find out what it likes so it can give you more. It went from there to divinity. So you are divine, and this message comes with a warning and a blessing. Drawing this card invites you to proceed with love over fear, no matter what your situation or relation. Proceed only from a place of unconditional love, reverence, and understanding. Life is filled with choices. Make sure they are the ones that respect all involved, including yourself. Meditate on this symbol when you want to connect to the unseen elements or elemental beings for support. So your divinity and the divine came out. So the only thing that's missing from this equation is the divine masculine. So the divine feminine came out. This has to talk about the union between those two. So God is waiting for you. You're not waiting for God. As hard as that seems, as hard as that sounds, you're not waiting for God. God is waiting for you. Because you are the one. The conscious energy creates time. The spiritual energy, the feminine energy, creates manifestation. So, in order to give God the ability, I know I said it already, give God the ability and time in your life, you must allow that time to nothing. And what is nothing? Do you believe that God is number one? Alright. So, my definition is God is nothing, nowhere, nobody, and number one. Why? Because when you say that you have faith, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, right? So that's nothing to look forward to and nothing to go find. It's not seen and not looked for. It's like something outside of everything that helps the situation. So out of nothing, which is God, comes something, which is for us. Yeah. I know there was a lot of quotes in there, but if you get me, you get me. Leave a comment in the description. Alright, so that was the reading. I appreciate you if you are still here. I love you to death. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And the reason for that is because I'm going to be creating an app for the spiritual community. It's going to be a spiritual kingdom with Tarot in the lead. So everybody has a sign and everybody can have a card drawn for them. Imagine how this kingdom is going to be. I'm a very creative person, and I only require, I'm looking to build this channel to help me get this app to you, because it's going to help everybody understand what I'm doing here and why this makes so much sense. So with all that said and done, as I said before, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment in the description. I'm looking forward to understanding how the mind of the people who follow me think, because I want to be able to communicate with you more. I want to be able to resonate with you more. And when you give your input, it literally tailors this to a certain way where your mind would get it. And since you help me, trust me, you're helping 1,000 more people, because there's no such thing as a dumb question. There's no such thing as a dumb comment. Like, when you want to understand yourself, there's no such thing as dumb anything. Let's do it. So, as I said before, with all that said and done, appreciate you, and I love you. I'm Kafa. Peace.